Barbara Jean drew herself up to her full, newly slender height. She placed her hands firmly on her hips, her eyes flashing with righteous indignation. She looked directly into Brock's angry eyes. She turned to leave the kitchen, her head held high. Barbara Jean stopped dead in her tracks, the bright smile melting away into utter confusion. She looked from Brock to Reba, sensing the heavy tension in the room. "What are you talking about?" Brock blinked rapidly, his anger instantly evaporating, replaced by a profound, paralyzing wave of utter confusion. He opened his mouth, closed it, then opened it again. "What?" Barbara Jean rolled her eyes, turning to Reba for support. "Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts?" The words hung in the air, sudden and absolute. The absolute silence that followed was deafening. "Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. He is gay." Reba gasped, shaking her head vigorously. "Any more than I already am. Hey, everybody. I am here, and I am saying, well." Barbara Jean's bright, melodic voice floated into the kitchen. She strutted into the room, still glowing from her workout, a towel draped casually around her neck. "Oh, unei." Brock threw his hands up in the air, his voice rising in an accusing shout. "Oh man, did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan?" Brock scoffed loudly, turning to Reba. "Reba, tell him what you saw." Reba set her mug down on the counter. She leaned forward, resting her hands flat on the cool granite. She looked at Brock, her expression deadly serious. The humor was entirely gone from her voice. Brock pointed at Reba, glaring at his wife. "She said you are having an affair." Brock stood up slowly, his face red with a mixture of anger and profound betrayal. He pointed a trembling finger at her. "Do not you honey me." Reba took a deep breath, delivering the painful truth of what she had witnessed. "Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby." Brock let out a sound that was half groan, half sob. He buried his face in his hands, rocking back and forth slightly in the chair. "Man, I knew there was something going on." "Look, Brock," she began slowly, choosing her words with extreme care. "I was hoping that I could go down to the gym and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But," just as the words left his mouth, the front door swung open with a cheerful creak. Reba held up a hand to stop him from interrupting. "Reba, come on," he pleaded. Brock's head snapped up. "That is it." Reba took a slow sip of her coffee, the image of the terrifying female trainer flashing in her mind. "He is big, but he is not as big as Dot." "So, did you see him?" Brock demanded, stopping his pacing to stare at Reba with desperate eyes. "What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him?" An hour later, Reba stood in the safety of her own kitchen, clutching a cup of hot coffee as if it were a lifeline. Brock was pacing frantically back and forth across the hardwood floor, his anxiety practically vibrating off him. Brock groaned, running his hands through his hair. He sank into a kitchen chair, looking utterly defeated. "So, what do you think? Is there something going on there?" Jordan gestured toward Reba. "This is Reba. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching." A terrifyingly large woman with muscles that looked like they were carved from solid granite stepped out from behind a weight rack. She cracked her knuckles, a predatory grin spreading across her face. "Yeah." Reba's eyes widened in sheer, unadulterated terror. She turned on her heel and practically sprinted toward the glass exit doors, abandoning any pretense of dignity. Reba gave a tight, polite smile, backing away toward the rows of treadmills. "Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you." Reba felt her face flush hot with a mixture of embarrassment and rising panic. She tugged at the collar of her shirt, suddenly finding the air in the gym suffocatingly thick. Is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating." "Okay." Jordan finally released the stretch, standing up and clapping his hands together. "Oh wow, Time for some weightlifting. Dot cracked her neck loudly, stepping toward Reba. Hey, get down there. Jordan chuckled again, picking up a clipboard from the floor. Oh, you are a beginner, Reba. You will start with Dot. Dot. Barbara Jean frowned, standing up and brushing off her bright pink leggings. Are you sure, Reba? Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Barbara Jean sat up, looking disappointed. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? She took a few steps backward, eager to put as much distance between herself and the blue mat as humanly possible. You know, I think I have seen enough. Reba looked at Jordan, then at Barbara Jean, her mind firmly made up. Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Reba let out a massive, audible sigh of relief. Oh good, that is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, Jordan instructed, his voice echoing over the gym music. Now, this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day. Reba, you need to watch this one, Barbara Jean called out happily from the floor. This one is my favorite. Barbara Jean closed her eyes, letting out a long, dramatic sigh of pure contentment. Oh, I would do it all day if I could. Jordan looked up, his expression completely serious and professional. It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. He patted the mat gently. Turn over. Jordan knelt beside her, placing his hands flat against the top of her chest, near her shoulders, and applying a firm, downward pressure. Reba's jaw dropped open. She stared at the two of them, her mind spinning with the sheer inappropriate nature of the comment. Remember when I did not want to? Reba muttered under her breath. Reba's eyes widened in sheer horror. She watched as Barbara Jean enthusiastically flipped onto her back on the blue mat. She stepped closer, her voice tight with thinly veiled shock. Is that, legal? I mean, necessary? Reba grimaced behind the elliptical machine, her protective instincts flaring up. She stepped out from her hiding spot, marching directly toward the mat. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Oh, 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 okay, Jordan. Reba watched in stunned silence as Jordan stepped behind Barbara Jean. He gently grasped her arms, pulling them back while pressing his knee lightly into her lower back. Hello. There, Jordan interrupted smoothly, turning his attention entirely back to Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean giggled, leaning back against him. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber, Jordan praised, his voice low and encouraging. The atmosphere of the gym hit Reba like a physical wall the moment she walked through the double glass doors. The air was thick with the smell of sweat and rubber mats. The sound of heavy metal plates clanking against each other, the whirring of treadmills, and the pulsing, high-energy dance music created a chaotic symphony of fitness. Jordan chuckled, a rich, patronizing sound that instantly grated on Reba's nerves. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching. You need to sweat a little. Barbara Jean clapped her hands together, practically vibrating with excitement. So, you going to join us, Reba? Reba stood her ground, her southern charm masking a sharp defensive edge. Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gym like this, and I do not think. Jordan turned his blinding smile toward Reba, extending a muscular hand. Hey, I am Jordan. Reba took a step back, crossing her arms defensively. Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Reba looked at his hand for a moment before giving it a short, firm shake. She maintained a stony expression. I am Reba. Barbara Jean spun around, letting out a squeal of absolute delight. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Barbara Jean blushed furiously, waving a hand dismissively. Oh, well, you know, the other woman is getting kind of baggy. Barbara Jean was standing on a blue mat, facing a tall, incredibly fit man with perfectly styled hair and a blindingly white